Yes, that's right. I want the D and D. I'm sorry. Yes, that's right, guys. Today we are going to get a little nerdy. Um, I am going to be talking about my Dungeons and Dragons related books and items. We are missing one because I cannot find it, which okay. But yes, if you don't know, Dungeons and Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game that was invented, I want to say, in the 80s. And it used to be really nerdy and weird, and for some reason people thought that you could use it to, like, I don't know, be evil and cast real spells, which I do wish we could cast real spells from playing Dungeons and Dragons, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But I was really hesitant to play it at first. I started playing my junior year of college, and when it was first suggested to me, my first reaction was like, what do you think I am, a nerd? And then I actually started playing it, and it's a lot of fun. It's basically like collective storytelling. It's you and a bunch of friends sitting down at a table, and then the dungeon master basically sort of shows you or guides you through this story, through this plot, and your characters can act any way they want, and their actions have consequences on the world and the plot, and it's really cool, and you can create a backstory and just play around with them. So, I don't want to be like, this is like a huge part of my life, because I do have other interests. I don't want to come off as like a raging nerd in this video, but I do want to talk about something that has really surprised me. I'm currently in 3 campaigns. They're all semi-regular, so I kind of just switch in and out because it's with the same group of friends. But I want to talk about my characters first, really quickly, and then we can go on into the books. So the first D&D character I ever created was Lorelei Fenmerrill, and I'm going to try and put up some art that some of my friends might have done in the past concerning them, so that you can kind of get a clue as to what they look like. Lorelei is a high elf paladin. She is very similar to me in that we are both sticklers for the rules, and we are both kind of awkward, and we like making friends, but sometimes we're not sure how to go about that. We are not alike in that she is a raging racist. She was abandoned as a child and grew up as an orphan on the streets. The Paladins, which were a predominantly high elf group of people in the city that she grew up in, took her in and sort of raised her and taught her the ways of her patron god, David Bowie. That's right, she worships David Bowie. It's weird. And she grew up with them and sort of took on their sort of racist ways. Now she's traveling with a group of people from a bunch of different races, and I'm hoping that'll make her see the light and maybe have her not be as much of a nerd. The second D&D character I ever created was Jelana Jal Akrak. She is a half-orc fighter. She is almost completely the opposite of me in every single way. She is gruff, she is aggressive, she is an alcoholic, she doesn't care about manners or rules, she punches first and asks questions later. Her journey started when she met up with her other campaign members to recover some objects from a lab. She insisted she could go on her own, and when the man who hired them insisted that she take the other 2 with her, she begrudgingly did so. Turns out she needed their help after all, which was a really great thing. So now she's traveling with a crazy old high elf and a very tall dragonborn druid with anxiety, and it's really fun. I love playing Jal. I love sort of getting into her space because she is so different from me, and just really funny and really dumb. Really, really dumb. We are very similar in that we are terrible liars and don't really know how romantic relationships work, although I think she's a little bit more of a disaster. She's currently acquaintances with benefits with a local bartender, but they've been exclusive for 5 years. They basically live together, and they go on dates and stuff. So they're basically boyfriend and girlfriend, but she's too stupid to acknowledge that. So that's where she is. And that's Jal. My other character is Kalama Suam. She is a fire genasi fighter. And she basically it was born as a noble, but an illegitimate daughter of a noble woman. Her parents were both human, and when she was born, she was clearly not human, which kind of revealed that the mother had been having an affair with some sort of elemental being, and she is a product of that. Since her birth, she was treated with disdain, and no one really paid attention to her. At best, she was bullied, or at best, she was neglected. At worst, she was bullied, and because of that, she is very quiet and reserved and shy, and she does not want to admit that her two older siblings, who are really creepy, probably abused her. And I really like playing her, and I like seeing her sort of realize that maybe she wasn't treated the best by her family, and that maybe she can find a new family in the group she's traveling with. Currently, the playable characters that she's traveling with are twin Kankus and a Aarakocra. So 3 bird people, and then there's just this tall Genasi woman. So Kalama and her group of friends are also traveling with a sort of traveling circus science thing, and she currently has struck up a little bit of a minor flirtation with a tiefling dancer named Temerity, and the two of them are really cute, and Kalama feels like she can speak to her honestly and so on, and Temerity really brings out a more confident side in her, and also they dance together, which is really cute. So those are the D&D characters I've got in my ongoing campaigns. So now I want to show you the D&D books that I have. So we are starting with the very basics. We've got the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook. One day I will DM. Trust me, one day I will, but that day is not today because I really like playing. And I've got the Player's Handbook, which is, they're basically guides on how to play the game, and they're long and complicated, and it looks hard, but once you get into it, it's a lot of fun. The next book I have is this little Dungeons and Dragons like story called Endless Quest: Escape the Underdark, where I guess it's like a choose your own adventure, and you are a fighter, which is my favorite class in D&D. So it's just a little story, and I should read this, but I haven't gotten the chance to. But you'll know when I do. You guys know, well, no, you don't. I haven't been posting wrap-ups, so I guess you guys don't know what I've been reading, if I've been reading at all, so that's my bad. The next book I have is Dungeons and Dragons: Art and Arcana, A Visual History. So it's going through sort of the history of Dungeons and... Let me put it up here. Now, going through the history of Dungeons and Dragons, and it's got like art from the decades and the different types of games. And it's just basically going through the history of the art style of Dungeons and Dragons. And I got it for Christmas from my sister, and I love it. It's so big and chunky and so informative. It's going to be my coffee table book when I have a coffee table or an apartment to put it in. Next up, we've got my 2 copies of the Adventure Zone graphic novels. These books are by the McElroy brothers and their dad, Clint McElroy and Carrie Peach. And it's basically a sort of adaptation of my favorite Dungeons & Dragons podcast, The Adventure Zone, which follows the adventures of Merle Burnsides, Taco Taco, and Merle High Church or High Tower, no one's really sure what his last name is, as they go throughout this world and mess things up and make things better. And it sounds weird and crazy, but it's so funny and it's so heartfelt. The podcast has made me laugh out loud several times and actually cry. It's amazing. So of course, when I heard that they were adapting these into graphic novels, I ordered them right away. So this is the adaptation of their first adventure, Here There Be Gerblins. And then this is their adaptation of the second adventure, Murder on the Rockport Limited. Really good. I haven't read this yet. I'm reading it for the Reading Rush, and I'm so excited. And while I don't have any more Dungeons & Dragons books, I wanted to show you my Monster of the Week handbook for this other tabletop role-playing game that I'm interested in running a session for, called Monster of the Week. Think like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or the Dresden Files, where each week they have to fight a new monster, and there's usually like a mystery involved, and it takes place in like a closed setting, like a town or a school where weird things are happening. That's basically this, but in game form. So I'm planning on running a 1920s Monster of the Week campaign. So whenever that happens, I'll have the book handy. Next up, I wanted to show you my Dungeons & Dragons candles. My younger sister ordered them for my birthday. They're called cantrip candles. So they're like this. And this one is called the Library Scriptorium, and it smells really good. The other candle I have is called Den of Thieves. And it smells like smoke, actually. Interesting. Yeah, notes of smoke, red wine, and aged leather. And you see they have like a little map here, and it's just really cute. I haven't lit them yet because it's so hot, but I want to someday. Next up, I want to show you my dice bags. So this is the first dice bag. My friend Ivy made a bunch of dice bags for me and my friends, and I really like it. It's got a hand with pointed nails gripping a rose, which I really love because I love roses. And my other friend Jessie knitted me this dice bag, which is really cute. It's black and red, which are two of my favorite colors. And I like keeping my die in here. So I keep my die in this, but then I keep the bag with my die in this in the other bag, which I love. And last but not least, I want to show you some of my die. I have too many to really go into detail, and I think it'll be pretty dull if I just go, here's my dice. So I'm only going to show you my two favorite sets. So my first set are these die, and I'll just pull out the D20 for you to look at. Can you? Yeah, see, so you've got these die here, and you see they're blue and black, and they're really pretty, and I like them a lot, and that's all I got to say on that matter. And the next set of die I actually got at San Diego Comic-Con, which is really cool, which, see here, they're like blue and purple, so I really like them. This is actually my favorite set, and I use it the most. I don't know, it's just kind of my aesthetic, which I like. And basically that's all of the D&D stuff that I have. Do you play? Are you interested in playing? Do you want to call me a nerd? Please do so down in the comments below. I'll read them all. And I probably won't disagree with all of them. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.